Katie ASMR should say on the passport. It does say Katie Ass. I don't know if I saved that. Because how it works now is it used to be it would just double save it, but now if you save it, it's set up now that it removes it. And it's like, oh, okay, whoops, and then it resaves it, but it resaves it, anew. So that's actually a better way to do that. But I don't know. It's a year old. Got your butt ass on display there for your jeans. The nice curve up and yeah. You, me, my dick. You, me, my dick, and your butt cheeks. Butt cheeks, not butthole. That faggot shit. So I'm not talking about the gays. I mean, hey, y'all do you poor bastards. I don't think it's a choice, but why would anybody in their right mind make that choice? But maybe it is. I'm watching this Sean Ryan stuff. That what do they call those guys again? Not exhibitionist. That's someone who gets naked in front of strangers. Exorcist. Yeah. He's makes unhealthy people healthy. I'm just kidding. Like I said, I consider myself a Christian, just a bad one. I think there's more to the story than we know. The way that he describes it, it's like a long ass one. I mean, oh fuck, man. This shit is deep, man. It's like layer upon layer, and you got this stuff for that, and that for this, and this, and holy fucking shit, man. Whew, and it's a battle for your soul, each individual, huh? I'll buy that. And aliens or demons? The thing has been showing up, kind of just in history, it's like a UFO. It's like you can see it, and all the stuff, and, what happened to that pyramid shit? Didn't they find a bunch of tubes under the pyramids? That came in it. But anyway, fuck. I don't know. Did the flood really happen? I don't know. How come dinosaurs aren't mentioned in the Bible? Everybody has their own interpretation of heaven and hell, and I've been there, and I've been to both. But then there's scripture that says, nah, nobody has. Just, I don't know, man. I just whatever. But, and there's demons for everything. And there's guardian angels for everything. Even businesses and shit? What? You talking crazy now? I guess okay. I mean, I guess. Whatever. What do I know? I'm not trying to, talk against the word. I'm just saying, I'm me. I didn't ask to be born here. I mean, I have an attitude of gratitude. I'm working on, I'm talking to, God more and stuff. I'm not worried about being all proper, with my prayers and just kind of telling him, what I did and, hey, I did this. I could have done better here, I'm kind of working on things, I kind of say some minor stuff. Gonna read, like I said, the Bible King James or New International Version, so I can understand it cover to cover with the notes and whatnot. Then a study version, cover to cover with notes and whatnot. Look up, stuff on YouTube. Alistair Begg was the guy that I like to listen to, because I don't like to listen to these fire and brimstone fuckers. Just shut the fuck up, The guilt trips and stuff, and you really need to be on church on Sunday. Fuck, I'm going to church on Sunday to get judged by all them fucking pricks. I don't need them at all. I don't need the fellowship of my fellow man. Fuck those assholes. The only reason I would go there is for a guided tour of the Bible. And I can get that elsewhere. So, Katie Boo, she might want to, if I wasn't trolled at that sort of shit, this wasn't complete utter fucking bullshit. I'm fucking with her heart, which is in my docket. I've told her I'm just fucking around, but she probably doesn't believe me. She's just in love with my ass. Or not, but probably. And, man, he said some stuff that was kind of wonky bunkers. Like towards the end, the more happy you are, the more blessed you are. I don't think that's true. There's some twisted ass pieces of shit in this world who are pretty fucking happy, and I don't think they're blessed. You know. So anyway, but yeah, dinosaurs, cavemen, you know, stuff, you know, the Nephilim, come again. They mated. They thought Earth chicks were just so hot. So how did they impregnate them? You know, how did I mean, come on now. Their sperm, you know, are the size of, you know, dogs and cats or whatever. You know, come on. You know, I'm just a little confused here. You know what I mean? Like I said, you know, and maybe it's just too much. Oh yeah, and the guardian angels of like corporations and stuff. What the fuck? What the fuck? I mean, maybe. You know? So, and I feel comfortable saying this because I don't want to turn anybody away, like from Scripture and the Word. But like I said, and everybody kind of interprets things their own way. You know, wait a minute, there's a guy who knows my every thought and what I'm doing at all times. Apparently, doesn't bother me for some reason. Well, like I'm supposed to fucking care? I didn't ask for this, you know what I mean? So, you know, whatever, but, you know, I have my moments, and I've had my moments in the past and stuff, and just kind of, so, and to have that talk, it's a good thing, you know, I'm not, like, interested in that shit, and I never have been my whole life, you know, I always knew that I would never get married, I just never, it just wasn't on the table for me. I just, you know, I've got a nuclear family, parents and grandparents. It's not like I saw bad shit. I always knew. Nope. And, you know, to have that talk and you raise your kids, you know, just to be decent functioning human beings. And I've said that before. They don't have to be awesome. They just need to stay out of trouble. But you want to give them the tools to pursue contentment and happiness. And it was David M.T. the Weenie where I first heard that a long time ago. God, I haven't watched his channel forever. Fuck, I'll have to binge on that shit now. Like, I found, like, you know, yeah, it's been like a couple months. He changed, he's one of those guys, you know, he's like a Christian, but he's also into the Zodiac shit, maybe? I don't know, because he changed it to like David M.T. the Weenie / Leo. You know, or some shit. I don't even know. You know, so he's all about that mess. You know, like if he was to get together with that guy and have a conversation, they could probably chum it up for hours, you know, just, oh yeah, this was for that, and that was for this, and this was meant to be that, and then there's, you know, and then there's people like me who are like, fuck all that shit. You know, I just try and be like a decent person. And recently, you know, I've been thinking about, like, my thoughts, you know, and like I said, you know, like, when I came back out driving, I said this before, it's like, I'm kind of a different person now. It's like I'm calmer now. Not that I was all hyped up before, but it's like, something has changed in me. I don't know if it's the whole DUI thing, the second chance thing, the fact that I'm driving a fucking truck 2 years after my DUI. You know, normally all the other, you know, it's like 5 years, you know, and that's for the shit companies. I'm working for a company who likes me, you know, pays well, treats the driver, you know, it's fucking, hey, man, don't think that's lost on me. You know, I think the word is surreal. You know, I'm driving down the road, and I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm not getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go fucking shovel salt, you know, or some shit. You know, because I was thinking about getting a job, you know, down there at that, I had my plan. And it might fall through, you know, I mean, something, you know what I mean? I mean, your future isn't guaranteed. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed. It's not guaranteed that the sun will even come up. The only thing that's guaranteed is physical death. So, but son's probably gonna come up with mine. But anyway, why would it not? It's doing its thing. I don't know if I could do some nuclear thing, fusion fucked up and sped up, and the damn thing explodes. Who knows? Eventually it's gonna die out. Oh, I guess that's another thing that's guaranteed is eventually all the sun is gonna burn out, all the black holes and the universe expanding. I guess that's gonna happen. And then the Big Bang and just all this stuff. So anyway, I feel comfortable mentioning that stuff. Katie Boo, she's a good Christian girl. I don't know what type of good Christian girl she is. Like I said, I consider, just... But anyway, yeah, being a parent, man, that's some tough shit. And that would be like job number one. People get wrapped up in their careers. It's like, well, I gotta fucking put food on the table and keep the house. Yeah, that is priority number one. It's like, yeah, but I don't know. It depends who you ask. But give you agency and purpose. But people just sort of get wrapped up in the modern world. They're not deep into religion and theology, scripture. This, that, and the other, good and evil. They kind of just, and they don't. A lot of people don't raise their kids. They just assume that they'll just know. It's like they're their own people. They grow up. They have filters. They listen to music. They have computers. They have AIs influencing them now. The brain isn't developed. They're emotional. They hear something about politics, and and man, being a parent is probably the toughest job in the fucking world. And you got to play the long game, obviously. And you got to pay that ever-increasing mortgage. And pay the bills and put food on the table and be a good husband and father. Who's the rock. But you're not this staunch, just teacher of the way of life. You're dad. You're fun to be around. Your wife likes you, and fucking hey, man. But I guess been watching a lot of cat videos lately, like short ones, and I've saved a bunch of them with gray cats because of Mrs. Butthead. I was gonna be like, you recognize this critter? You recognize this critter? Do you recognize this little critter? And it's all gray cats when they're like small. Actually, I think there was one that was a bigger. They're a girl cat. And so Mrs. Butthead, you out there? You pregnant yet? You want kids so bad. Yeah, good luck with that journey. You and the Guido. Yeah. But the Gweedster, the Gweed bear. Dumb puzz. But just look at the motherfucker. Like I said, ooh, what is he? This is Butthead. Oh, my, I met a girl. Look at his ears. So where did you get that cat? Was it from Ladybug? Ladybug bear? Ladybug bear? Ladybug bear? I saw a chick. She was a guard at a place that kind of reminded me of her. Mama's way funny. What else could it be? Yeah, and when I I did my quote-unquote prayer, and I said, I feel kind of stupid because there's so many people who have lived and died, who are alive right now, and will, be on the scene, will be born, live, and die. And I feel kind of like stupid, and I said that, and I was just using my mind, and just like he said there, it's like, that's cool. And, and I had said, it was either last night or the night before, like, hey, I'm just sort of kind of doing this, I'm getting this started, I'm just sort of going to refine this, this, that, and the other. Today when I was doing my pre-trip on my truck, the radio came on by itself. I didn't do anything. The truck was running. or at least the key was on. But I wonder if that was just, coincidence, or if it was. So, I've experienced some stuff. I've never seen like plates floating across the living room or anything, but man, I've had cars start on their own, which they were. What? Back up. Say that again, Jack. Well, they were like the handicapped cars with the remotes and stuff, so that can be kind of funny when you get that, radio waves going through the air, that could have caught something else, and triggered it. There is like logical shit for that. But yeah, twice a car started, the horns honked. One time there was a dent that appeared in the hood out of fucking nowhere. It just was like there the next day. What in the fuck hell else happened? Other shit. And I've already talked about stuff like the shadow people and me getting up and basically, I'm not that guy, you know what I mean? But I was speaking gibberish. So I don't know if you call that tongues or what, but I was crouched and I had my hand like out and open and my other one. I was in like a ninja position. And I was just like, and then all of a sudden they were gone. Then go up, down, disappear in a puff of smoke. Don't know if it was a dream. But, and then later, myself, I had a dream. I was watching myself sleep, and I was over there where they were standing. And there's been some weird shit, and I've talked about the nightmares where I didn't remember. And just the other day, where I was like, and I didn't remember the nightmare. And the other day when I woke up and didn't recognize anything, the not being able to move, but that's like sleep paralysis. That's like your brain, so you don't act out your dreams. That's kind of scary. What if that malfunctions? What if you wake up someday and you can't take a shit? Obviously, you are going to die. That would be a weird way to go. I don't know if it's ever happened before, but there's like 3 different nervous systems, that your body does. And your heart beating. If you take a crap, how your bladder works and all that shit. That's just all stuff that happens in the background. Then there's the stuff that you input, your movements and whatnot. And then there's, which would also be like the pain receptors and whatnot. But I guess there's also like the emotional shit. I don't know. But, yeah, I've experienced some shit. The ball lightning, the UFO, quote unquote, the ones that I did, I already said that, and then the ones I was going to stop and get a picture, but they probably wouldn't even turn up, but it was the same shit. So, and I'm talking to my regulars here. Anybody who's listening in, this is just going to be gibberish, just any new fans, but Katie Boo and Fucko, and this is Butthead, and if she's still out there, it's like they've heard me talk about that, the weird stuff that is not really major, and the psychotic experiences, or the psychic experiences, the trucks, the fucking DeLorean, and the planes, and just World War II bombers, the ME-262. The movie Always, hey, Guardian Angel, hey, and then fucking a week later, hey, look, it's a fucking beach, hey, oh, hey, what else? The stock car, that is way specific. That was a long time ago. It's just, the other day, fairly recently, John McClane. That's from the movie Die Hard. His name in Last Boy Scout was Joe something. And like I said, I wasn't talking. I didn't mention that. So, my phone didn't hear that and input that as something. My phone had no idea that they had a light with Bruce Willis back in the day, with his like wife beater shirt, he's all fucked up looking. Swear to God, I survived this. I'm gonna dance with Jake. But you couldn't protect a warm cup of piss. Spilled my warm cup of piss. But Anyway, was I supposed to say that? Was I supposed to realize that right now? Was that planted in my mind? I don't care. Am I supposed to? That's way too much shit to think about and remember. You know what I mean? Like somebody like Bundle Baby, they'd be like, ooh, they'd be all about it. Like, oh. For someone like me, I'm like, nah, I wouldn't fuck with that. So, and even the stuff that's like, no shit. You want to fuck the Ouija board experience? I've talked about that before now. You know, with my sister, my mom and her sister, you know, who did that? Oh, fuck. You know, and I didn't want to give it energy. I didn't want to talk about it. And I guess weird stuff started happening. I don't care. I don't care. I will never know. Plus, I mean, I could ask my mom, but I'm not going to. Grandma's passed away, and so is my aunt. I will never talk about that. I don't care. You know, I will never ask about it. But for some reason, my mom has the ability to like compartmentalize shit. Because we had a fucking Ouija board, put the hands on the jack of the bar, they asked something simple like, is there a spirit here? And the fucking thing started moving. Took my hands out the top, pick. You moved it, I ain't moving it, you must be moving it. Curiosity killed the bat, but satisfaction brought him back. Is only a cute, clever saying that Grandpa Munster says. In real life, if weird shit like that starts happening, I'm done. I have no interest. It doesn't bother me or freak me out for some reason, which is good. But, like I said, I do kind of live beside myself. I jokingly kind of say when I say I'm a shell of a man, I mean it. Or, you know, a man boy. So, so anyway, 21 minutes in. There's more to this world than we know. There's more to reality than we know. Like I said, I consider myself a Christian, just a bad one. Just because I don't get wrapped up in it. You know, I don't care. I don't care. Should I? Because I don't. Should this make me feel a certain way? Because it doesn't. It doesn't change anything. You know, so I don't know if that's good or bad. But yeah. You know, it's interesting. So anyway, Katie Boo, I just want to remind you that you and I will never be a unit. We will never be married. We will never date first, second, or third. You will never come pick me up or send someone to retrieve me at the yard in Chicago. As bad as you may want it to happen, it will never be. Because I just have no interest. So, I talk shit about this and I talk shit about that. But, as I said, you're a real girl who wants real things out of life. You want a marriage, you want love, you know, you want a man in your life. Well, unfortunately, your only options are Spurs who live in the city of Chicago. So, yeah. You know, you could probably find him. I'm going to name drop him. I don't care. I'm going to name drop him. He has a channel. His name is Chad Elkins. Okay, I call him Douche Lickens because that's his name spelled backwards. So, it is. Just read it backwards. But, he's an accountant. Okay. Probably spurred. Hang on. Oh, man. That's that throat cancer. Sometimes I get like an itch. Well, it's not a regular occurrence. But every now and then, just... So, my body's probably been fighting it and defeating it, fighting it and defeating it, you know, for like the last 100 years, and I'm gonna lose the battle. So, anyway. So, because I'm gonna say something that maybe I shouldn't, but I'm going to anyway. A long time ago, I said, you know, if somebody was to come down with cancer, it should be me, because I don't have a family and kids. So I would be like no loss. Um, and it hasn't happened yet. So if I ever do come down with some sort of tumor or cancer, yes, that'll be in the back of my mind. It might be coincidence, but I did say that, and I mean it. I will be bummed out. I will be very bummed out. There will be sadness. And I've thought about this. I've thought, my life, just how I'm going to feel if I live out my life, how I'm going to feel if I come down with cancer, and what my things are going to be. Just if I were to somebody could drive down this road right now with an AK, just, just in the middle of the night, and that'd be it. Freak shit happens, but if I'm going to face my immortality, my death, I come down with cancer, and I'll do everything I can to defeat it. I'm not just going to be like, well, shucks, one more less mouth to feed or whatever, in society. Because I'm also working, I'm making money and shit, I'm contributing to society. But, so anyway, that's that. So, maybe Katie Boo, again, I shouldn't say this, it's like, here, go, breed, make babies, you'll produce quality people, right, and I'm not going to do that, so it's like, well, okay, well, so, but, yeah, that's that, so, I wouldn't mind riding it out, but, like I said, that's really, I have no legacy, no wife, no kids. Like I said, I'm just working, I'm contributing to society that functions on a monetary system. So I trade my time for money. I'm delivering loads, I'm involved in commerce, and I get money to buy food and shit, which, supports the guy who owns the grocery store, and that's all I'm doing. So so Katie Boo, just shut the fuck up. Just like I said, you're not getting any younger. So if you're all about this and you've lost your fucking mind and you're goo-goo bonkers and you think I'm just this awesome dude, I'm nobody. I'm just a troll. And if you think you're going to somehow change my mind, or it's meant to be, or it's divine, as if, get over myself, right? Well, fuck. What the fuck? Just throwing it out there, all the shit. What the fuck is reality anyway? You know what I mean? What the fuck is reality anyway? Does this shit happen to you? Because this has been happening to me for like a minute. Long time. And then it gets me thinking, well, it's like I'm not listening. Well, I'm hearing it. Am I supposed to figure something out? And again, Katie Boo's like, yes, shut the fuck up. The answer is no. But go get you a boyfriend. I know he's not me. He could never be me. Not even close. But unfortunately, it's all you got. Like I said, go take your taxes to Douche Lickens. He lives there in Chicago, the asshole of Illinois, just like you do. Maybe you two will hit it off. God, I just can't see it happening, though. He's such a weird-looking bird. So, and I just don't think you two would, I don't know, he might treat you good, I guess, but shit, I don't know. Go check him out. He lives right there in your town, somewhere. Just look him up. You got his name, Douche Lickens. He's an accountant. I bet you could find him. Take your taxes to him. Be like, hey, shit, that dumb dude. He's just like my peeps. I don't really listen to him a lot, but, he's like, a normal thinker. He knows my future bestie Cool Breeze. Maybe I'll contact him tomorrow. Well, no, probably not tomorrow, but maybe this home time. Yeah. Hey, man, what's up? Let's go fishing. But, yeah. picking up what I'm putting down here. So, anyway. You know what I mean? It could all, like, even, yeah, cool breeze, yeah. Hey, man. He'd be down with it. We'd hang out like, you know, we'd known each other for years. Hey, I'm a fan. Hey, if you're ever coming through, you know, you need a place to stay, whatever, I'll buy you lunch. We'll go golfing, hiking. If you're not interested, fuck off. If you are, hey, new friend. So, and you're probably thinking, why would you not do all this stuff that is laid before you so generously and so easily? Because I don't want to. I'm not interested. Not looking for new friends, not looking for a wife or a sexual partner, you know, or anything like that. You know, false accusations, stuff like that. Oh, you say that now? Oh, I would never do that. Whatever. Because I'm just not interested. I've got an extremely simple, boring, easy life. Shit. Yeah, I think it said that. Yeah, mediocre is the devil's work. Well, then I guess I'm fucking evil. You know, like I said, consider myself a Christian, just a bad one. Yeah. Oh, should I be bettering myself today? So, but that being said, I do kind of. Yeah, but I can't. So, in case you didn't catch that, I kind of petered out there. I said, so, for the cheap seats. What's he trying to say, boy? What's he trying to say? Roof! 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 So, have a good one. Good night. Thinking about you. I masturbate to your pictures and the things and collages that I make of you. You can just have me in your life. No. We can't be doing that now. No. We continue doing what we're doing. It's working out very good so far. And if we don't, then you're not part of my changing direction. You ain't part of it. As much as you might not want to be, you is not. A good night, sweet girl.